And if you ever find me lying beside your graves, embrace me, so I do not tremble once more from a darkness that knows me more than I know it.
Not again!
How? Again? Well,
For tonight, what we're doing is, over this brief hour, Roba Al-Sharif will be giving a reading from her newly published book called Daughter of Death. And the reading will be in both Arabic and English, which I'm delighted about in hearing them. We'll have a short question and answer session after that Roba and I have pre-prepared. I'm really pleased that you could all make this event. But before I hand over to the virtual microphone over to Roba, I'm going to just give a brief introduction of her poetry. Roba Al-Sharif is studying at Muscat School, but is mainly self-reliant in her studies because of the war. She is based in the Al-Baraj refugee camp in Gaza. She began writing poetry as a response to the genocide in Gaza. In November 2025, she submitted some poetry to Exploding Appendix via email on a Google document, and this formed the basis of her work that Exploding Appendix have published, like I mentioned, the book Daughter of Death. In its final form, Daughter of Death consists of 9 lyric poems and 2 biographical and reflective prose pieces that Roba has written in both Arabic and English. I think I should comment a little bit on the editing process. It's been an incredibly unique experience for me. And what's been most unique about it is that Roba and I have been communicating about the editing and publishing process, mainly over WhatsApp messages. And a lot of the decisions about this book, decisions such as the order of the poems, the cover design, the title of the collection, and even the final proofs, the PDF of the proofs were sent over WhatsApp and checked over WhatsApp. It's a process that I feel is incredibly personal because of that, and related to other ways of publishing poetry. But then again, I wouldn't know personally about other ways of publishing poetry because this is the first job that I've ever had as an editor. But the entire process from start to finish has been almost entirely communicated by mobile phone, which, by the way, is a book that is now in its 2nd edition. The 2nd run, we've got about 19 copies left of that, and some shops have already sold out of the 2nd edition. I wanted to note also, whilst I'm here, that the front cover design, which you can see on the poster there, is by Roba's sister, Rakad Al-Sharif, who might also be with us this evening, and who's a very talented artist, and I'm really glad she also helped to give life to this small collections of poems, so thank you. Roba has also published poetry that has been translated into Italian and forms part of a larger Italian anthology of Palestinian poetry called La Rosa di Gaza, published by Les Planeurs Edizioni, and also another poetry collection called Memoirs of a Fallen Star, published by Coastal Lines, and in another poetry collection called Justice Lost, which is published by Palestine Shop Hiroshima in Japan. And so needless to say that Roba is already a prolific and impressive writer who has reached an international audience at this early stage of her poetic career, and who I myself am very proud and honoured to work with her as an editor and a publisher. And I'm delighted to see her as well for the first time on webcam, and also to introduce you to her here this evening. Please, everyone, I hope you can give a very warm welcome to Roba Al-Sharif. Welcome, Roba.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all well. I'm Roba Al-Sharif, a Palestinian poet and writer, and the author of the poetry collection, Daughter of Death. Okay, I must confess that I'm a little nervous, but I'm also deeply happy to be here with you today. And please be patient with my English. I'm still trying to do my best. So it's a great honor for me to be here today, to stand here among you and beside my dear Chris, who helped me to make this moment possible, as well as the entire team. Thank you all sincerely for being here. So this book has meant everything to me in recent times. It has been my closest companion and my constant source of inspiration. Although I have other published works, this one will always remain the dearest to my heart. As for the title, Daughter of Death, which some of you may find dark, it holds a very profound meaning for me. The Daughter of Death is not merely a witness of death, she is a being born in its shadow, yet she never truly becomes part of it. She cannot accept it, nor fully belong to it. Death may carry its own sovereignty, but Daughter of Death suggests something else as well, a strange birth within Rowan, a life that emerges from the very presence of death. So I give myself this name during many difficult periods in my life when death still felt like a constant companion, always following close behind until in some way it becomes a mask I carry with me. So every poem in this book was written with love and blood, and this poem will continue to speak for me, even if one day I'm no longer here, I leave them with you so that perhaps you may remember me through them. The prose pieces of the article in the book are also deeply important to me. They offer philosophical reflection that invite the reader to enter my human world more closely, to explore love, writing, absence, and existence. And grateful that I'm here today with you, and my words have finally found a home worthy of them, and that you are here today to welcome me and my words. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Roba, I guess the only thing I'd like to do now is to proceed with your reading. Yeah, and we'll hear your wonderful work.
I will start with the Arabic poem. Do not betray my poems. لا تخوني قصائدي. ترى كيف يكون الحب في ديار النافعين؟ أيموت قبل الهرم أما أن قلبي كالأقصى الجريح يفني الحروب بيننا كي لا تهزم القبل. أما أنت يا وطن يا أنثى القصائد كما ذكرتك في شعري وكما عزفك ساهر الشوق في ليالي عزفه فما زالت طيور بحرك تغازل شطآن الهوى وتشرب من أمواجك وطن القلب كنت في عيوني قبلة العاشقين فما بالك تهدرين وجعي بقنابلك أما تعلمين أن الحروف الذي تكتبك مذبوحة وأن الشعر يخون إذا نسي دم أطفال كثر أحببتك كما لا يحب عاشق وطنا كما يحب شهيد تراب معركته الأخيرة كما يحب الأذان قبتك الذهبية وكما يحب الحنين رائحة الخبز في حارات نابلس وكنت حاكمًا عربيًا تغسلين يديك من دمي تغلقين النوافذ كي لا تزعجك أجراس المخيم وتبيعينني في أسواق الخذلان قبيل كل قصف على رفح لكنني أحبك لا كما يهوى عاشق عيني امرأة بل كما يعشق الفلسطيني رايته ويحرس الزيتونة من نار مغتصب. Okay, I will read the English translation. Do not betray my poems. Tell me, what shape does love-taken land ruled by the useful? Does it collapse before aging, or burn out before its first winter? My heart, like a Alexa wounded, spends its silence between us, just so a single kiss might survive. And you? Homeland, woman of my verses, as I etched you in my poetry, as the sleepless strings of yearning, once played you in the lute of night. Your seabirds still flirt with shores of longing, drinking thirst from the language of your waves. O homeland of my heart, you were once the Qibla of lovers in my eyes. Why now do you crush my ache beneath your thunder? Do you not see that every letter written for you bleeds? The poetry becomes betrayal when it forgets the blood of children, not yet old enough to speak. I loved you, not as a man loves a woman, but as the martyr clutched the soil of his last sand. As the call to prayer clings to your golden dome, as the sin to firmer breed clings to the back street of Nablus. Yet you stood like an Arab king, rinsing my blood from quiet hands, closing windows so the bells of the camp won't woke your conscience, sealing me in the sick of abandonment before each strike on Rafah. And still, I don't love you as a man loves a woman but as a Palestinian loves his flag, standing watch over the olive tree as the flames lick its shoots. Okay, I will read the second poem. Love and Barriers of Occupation. حب وحواجز احتلال. ضعت في درب الهوى والريح تعصف بي كأنني زورق مكسور على شط الأسى ينسى. أحببتك كما يحب الغيم ظله، كما تحب النار دمع الحطب، كما يحب السجين صمت السجن حين ينام الحرس. لكننا لم نتقن إلا الغياب، ولا حفظنا من القصائد غير جرح الهمس. صوتي إليك لا يزال يخرج من صدري كأنه ناي حزين يسأل المدى: هل مر من هنا؟ هل ترك خلف الغياب ظله؟ قلبي تحت ركام الحب ما زال حيا، يصرخ كالسجين بين حواجز الاحتلال، إلى باب بلا قفل، إلى زمن ضائع بلا رجوع. ضائعان كأننا شهقتان في ليل بلا قمر، نمشي بلا خريطة ولا نعرف هل نقبل على ذاكرة أخرى أم نمضي إلى نسيان ينسانا قبل أن ننساه. كلما حاولت نسيانك عاد قلبي إليك كعاشق تائه لم يجد في الأرض وطنا سواك. أيا أنفاسي الأخيرة من حب لا يموت، هل للحنين قبور تدفن فيها الذكرى، أما أنه طائر أعمى يحوم حول قلب لا يشفى. The English translation: Love and Barriers of Occupation. I'm lost upon the road of love, while tempests tear through me, as a blind boat, forsaken of the desolate shore of grave. I loved you, as the cloud adores its own shadow, as fire teasers the weeping of the wood or devours, as a prisoner worships the heart of his cell when the guards drift to sleep. Yet we learn nothing but absence, and from all poems we gather only the wound of whisper. My voice to you still rises from my chest like a serval reed float, questioning the distance. Has he passed here? Did he leave behind his shadow within the void? My heart, beneath the wreckage of love, is still beating, crying like a captive behind the barricades of occupation, toward the door without a look, toward a lost time from which here is no return. We are lost to breaths, like twin gasps in a night without a moon, walk without a map, not knowing do we approach another memory or drift into a forgetting that forgets us before we can forget it. Each time I strive to raise you, bird returns to you like a wanderer in love who has found no homeland on earth but you. O my last breaths of love that will not die, does yearning love graves where memory may be buried, or its blind bird circling forever a heart that will not heal. The poem The Wine of Your Dimples. خمر غمازتيك. في وجهك شعمات صغيرة على هيئة ملائكة صغار، تنبثق منها براءة طفلة ما زالت تجري في بيادر الحقول. بحضن وجنتيك غمازات عميقة تمنى الليل لو يصعد عليها. ربما ستحولين ظلام الليل إلى إشراقة شمس، ففي ضحكة منك يبرز عمقهم، ويتمنى كل شاعر لو كنت لديه ليكتب عنك بدلا من تعلقه، وهو يكتب عن ظلام البلاد ووحدتها. مثلما كبرت أنا مع ذاكرتي المهمشة مليئة بكثير من الأسى المتراكم، وذكريات كانت أشبه بحطام يتناثر بأحشاء الديار عندما إفراج للظلام، كأنني أسير وفي عقلي سيوف الزمان فقط. كتبت الأسى بين سطوري لليال، ولم أتخيل أن هناك نجاة من هذا الضياع، ولكن غمازتيك كالخمر تسكر كل ساكن، فهي أجمل من زهرات تفتحت لتعلو الجدران، تنسينا وجع وقسوة البلاد والأيام. وسرت، لكن لهذه المرة فقط، ليس في سجون وقضبان، بل في عينين تشبه لون الصباح، تشبه بهجة أكمه ببصيرته الأولى، وأسير فتحت له نافذة الانتظار بعد كثير من المؤبدات. تراجعت وأصبحت طفلا في السادسة، يبحث عن ظلك في الزوايا المعتمة، في كل بيدر، في كل ظل لرياح، في كل بداية لقصيدة. The English translation: The wine of your dimples. On your face, moles chips like little angels, from which the innocence of a child is still running through the threshing fields irises. In the cradle of your cheeks, its dimples climb up in them. Perhaps you would turn the darkness into the radiance of a sun. With a single laugh, their depth appears, and every poet wishes you were his, so he caught right of you. And instead of clinking of darkness of his homeland and its loneliness, just as I grew with my discard memory, filled with layers of accumulated sorrow, and the fragments of memory wreckage scattered throughout the entrails of hymns. When approached by the slight spark that might liberate the dark, as if I were busy prey, crying only the words of time in my mind. I wrote my grave between the lines for endless night, never imagining that there could be salvation from such ruin. But then, your dimples, one that intoxicates very still silence, more beautiful than flowers blooming as they climb bare walls, making us forget the ache and cruelty of the land and the days. I was captured, yet this time not within prisons or Edinburghs, but by eyes the color of the morning. Eyes like the delight of a blind man beholding his first sight, like a prisoner finally offered a window of hope after a lifetime of sentences. I stepped back and become a 6-year-old child again, searching for your shadow in dim corners in every field, in every hut you find, in every opening line of every poem. The poem Beloved the Country. جميلة البلاد. عينيك يا جميلة البلاد، ملأت قلبي سوداوية رغم زروق عيناك. كتبتك بلون السماء كنجمة زرقاء تخفي ما بداخلها من ظلام، فعينيك تهيمنا وتبعث بنا بسحر وإدمان، وتنسينا ما فعلت بنا من آلام، تنسي طفلا يتيما ما غدا اليوم به منك من أحزان، فعينيك لا يمكن أن تكون مرآة جرائمك، قتلت أطفالا كثر، دفنت أبرياء كثر، وما زلت تخدعيننا بنظرة من عينيك. أكره روحك يا جميلة البلاد، أكره تفاديك عن واقعنا المظلم، عن جرائمك اللامتناهية، عن صوت بكائي بجانب قبورهم. لا تخفي ظلامك وراء قناع ملامحك البريئة. كيف تتصنعين الحب وفي قلبك بحور بأمواج وشطآن؟ شط يعكس ظلامك وسوادك، وشط آخر يعكس دموعك المتناثرة بحزنك لعجزك. كيف نكتب عنك يا جميلة البلاد؟ كيف نكتب عنك وأنت تسطرين كلمات أطفالك بالدماء؟ ادمجي لون عينيك مع لون السماء لنرآهم مرآة روحك وواقعنا. Beloved the country. The drops of coal from your eyes, oh beloved the country. You fill my heart with the gloom despite the blue of your eyes. I painted you in the color of the sky, like a blue star hiding the darkness within. Your eyes captivate us, weaving a spell, an irresistible allure, making us forget the pain you have caused. They make an orphan child forget the sorrow that you today have blessed open him. Your eyes cannot reflect your crimes. You have killed countless children. You have burned countless innocents. Yet still, you deceived us with a glance from your eyes. I hate your soul above the country. I hate your evasion from our dark reality, from your endless crimes, from the sound of my weeping beside their graves. Do not hide your darkness behind the mask of innocence feature. How do you feel love while your heart contains with waves and shores? One shore reflecting your darkness and blackness, another reflecting your scattered tears in the grave over your own helplessness. How can we write about you, all of the country? How can we write about you while you inscribe the words of your children in blood, blend the color of your eyes with the color of the sky, so we may see them in the mirror of your soul and of our reality. Witness and Martyr. شاهد وشهيد. شهدت بدموع حمراء دامية تنساب من حلقات أنهكتها الفواجع، وشاهدت أقفاص روحي العارية تتدلى أمام جثث منسدلة كأنها ظل موت لا ينسحب. أناجيك يا سيد الموت، اقتلع روحي وتلك الأجساد من ذاكرتي كما اقتلعت أنفاسهم من صدورهم، وانتشلني من موتي الذي طال في صدري حتى صار شهيقا معطوبا لا ينقضي. احتضن شظايا احتضاري، ضمها إلى صدرك وأصد عنها فيض دمائها المنفلتة على رائحة المسك تفوح في جنايا البلاد، لا أن تخنق بتراب المقابر. لا تهتفوا بكفني الأبيض حين توارونه تحت التراب، فالركام وحده يعرفني ويعرف كيف عبرت إليه محمولا برائحة شهيدي العالقة بي كلعنة أبدية. سأدفن بفتور عيون مفتوحة، فأنا محروم من ترف نوم يريح، محروم من عتبة لا تشبه موتي. وإن وجدتموني يوما ممدودا بجانب قبوركم فاحتضنوني لئلا أرتجف مرة أخرى من ظلام يعرفني أكثر مما أعرفه. احتضنوا صرخات قلبي حين تهتف بأسمائكم، واحتضنوا كلماتي لعلها تجد قارئا يمسح عنها غبار المآسي ويعيد إليها آخر نبضة. احتضنوا شاهدا غدا شهيدا بمرآة الجريمة في عينيه. لا تكونوا شاهدين، تسكنكم روح ميتة فتغدو كأطياف تتجول بينكم كما غدوت أنا. كنت الشاهد وها أنا الآن الشهيد. Witness and Martyr. I was witnessed by crimson tears flowing from eyes exhausted by calamity, and the gauge of my bare soul stood dangling before falling corpses, as if shadow of death refused to withdraw. I call upon Lord of Death, tear my soul and these bodies from my memory, just as you tear their breath from their chests, and lift me from the death that has lingered within me until it become a broken saw that will not end. I embrace the sherd of my demise, fold them into your chest, and chill them from the flood of their realized blood, so that the scent of musk might drive through the corners of the land, rather than being stifled by chemistry dust. Do not chant over my white shroud when you lay me beneath the soul, for only the rubble knows me, and knows how I wretched carry, but the scent of my martyrdom clings to me like an eternal curse. I shall be buried with open eyes, for I am deprived of the luxury of restful sleep, deprived of darkness unlike my death. And if you ever find me lying beside your graves, embrace me, so I do not tremble once more from a darkness that knows me more than I know it. Embrace the caress of my heart when it calls your name. Embrace my words, so they may find a reader who wipes away the dust of tragedies, and resist their final blows, and embrace a witness who will become a martyr mirrored in the crime within his eyes. Do not be more witnesses inhibited by dead souls. Name a moon after me. سموا قمرا باسمي. سموا قمرا باسمي، دعوه يعيش خوفي وحدتي وشجني، دعوه يصلي للشمس لتشرق لمرة على أغصان يأسه، حرروه لينجو من لعنة وحدته، من ندب علقت في صدره كغياب سرمدي متحشرج. حرروه ليحتضن نجما بقيت فيه روح تبصر بعد، لينثر نورا في جنايا قلبي، في شظاياه المفتتة، عل أن تتكامل أرواحنا الناقصة معا، لنكمل فجوات عالقة في حفرة للنسيان، عالقة في ذكرى تشبثت في حطام الجدران، بروح علقت تحت الركام، برائحة تعلقت في طرف كفن أبيض منفي. دعوه يهرب بجسده لعنان السماء، حرروه كما لم أحظى أنا. اتركوه يحيا بين النجوم ويدفن في سماء زرقاء لا قبر مظلما يذكره فيما أفناه. لا تغدو مثلي أيها القمر، كن شاعرا حرا لا أن تعاتب أقرانك. عش واحيا بجانب ضوء الشمس، دعها تحتضن روحك لا أن تحرق جذورك وكلمات سطورك كما فعلت بي أنا. لا تكن مثلي أيها القمر فتغدو منسيا، كن باسمي لتعش ما بحلمي، كن باسمي وعش حيا. Name a moon after me. Name a moon after me. Let it live my fear, my solitude, my sorrow. Let it pray to the sun, begging it to rise once, just once. Open the branch of its despair. Set it free, so it may escape the course of its loneliness. From scars cling to its chest, like an eternal trembling absence. Set it free, so it may hold a star, for a soul within it still sees, still breathes. Let it scatter light into the chambers of my heart, into its shattered fragments. Perhaps our incompleted spirits may find completion together, may seal the gasps suspend into a bit forgetting, coated in memories, gripping the ruins of walls, in a soul trapped beneath the rubble, innocent still cling to the dim of an exiled white shroud. Let it free with its spirit through the sky. Free it as I was never freed. Let it live among the stars and be buried in a blue sky, not in a dark grave that remembers everything and once destroyed in him. Do not become like me, O moon, not one who reproach his own kind. Live beside the sun's light. Let it cradle your spite, not burn your roots. And the words of your lines, as it did it to me. Do not become like me, O moon, fading, forgetting. Bear my name, so you may live what I dreamed. Bear my name and live alive. Thank you all.
Thank you. Roba, thank you. I feel absolutely speechless by that reading. I'm really overwhelmed with emotion. Like anything and never heard you read before. I never even saw you before, and to have the first time a live interaction with you to be something so beautiful and so earnest. Your reading voice. My initial reaction is that your reading voice is so earnest and so pleading, and it's not something that I've experienced. I couldn't have experienced just reading it in paper, and just to hear you read out loud is such a phenomenal experience. I'm sure everyone here agrees. It was an amazing reading, Roba. Thank you so much for that. It was beautiful.
Hello, dear George.
Hello. It's so good to see you. Ramadan Kareem as well.
Ramadan Kareem to you too.
My first question starts with a comment that it's apparent that throughout your poetry that you're deeply concerned with the possibility of love in times of crisis and great tragedy. And I'd like for you to say a bit more about this theme in your work.
So, in a world that has come to regard love as unprofitable, even unnecessary, my poems and Daughter of Death attempt to rediscover the meaning of love, to reflect something radically different. In my work, love emerges as an act of defiance in a time of catastrophe, a form of resistance against purification, something born of pain so that we may remain human. So, the question then is not whether love exists, but what shape it takes. So in Palestine, love cannot be candlelighted, promises of a distant future, or tender letters. It becomes waiting, fear, prayer, the perpetual possibility of loss. The beloved in the poetry is not an idealized figure of romance, but a human being suspended between checkpoints, oppression, and the blood of the human land. So, war is long, love requires time, and time itself is stolen. Here we must ask, can love survive within a utilitarian colonial capitalist order? How can that which cannot be measured endure in a world obsessed with measurement, in an era where the human beings is reduced to a number and life to breaking news? Love is what prevents us from becoming an instrument. Just giving me 1 minute.
Okay.
So I believe love does not finish in times. of a crisis. It just illusion and transforms from the individual to the collective, from the romantic to the national, from the personal to the universal. For me, the human being is more than a biological entity, and love is what safeguards the humanity. So, in my poetry, love rises from spaces of waiting, from internal battles, from moments of endurance, within a system that measures everything except meaning.
Staying with the question of love, so just keeping with the question of love for the time being, you say in the opening poem that you do not love as a man loves a woman, but more so as someone who loves her homeland, her Palestinian flag, her soil. How do you work out your relationship to Palestine, your love of your homeland in your poetry? And also, you seem to be addressing your own heart and your own poems in the manner of love for your home. What do you see as the relationship between your heart, your poetry, and your homeland?
I have always treated the homeland in my poetry as a living being. I believe that the land can feel us, our sorrow and our anger. So in its conventional form, rather I redefine it as an existential commitment, as belonging and as blood, even if its body is torn away, subject I write about, but the very structure from which I write. I being that feels that experience that grows wrathful and it's forgiving, thus loving it becomes a complex act. And when I wrote that the heart is not an organ that pumps blood but a map, what I mean here is that identity exceeds the solitary body, the heart becomes a graphic experience, and the poem becomes a servant terrain. So within the continuity of Crudely, a question arises. Can love endure within a hostile environment? So perhaps it's truer to say that love is an age of oppression does not remain merely a feeling, it becomes a form of reviance. To love a wounded homeland is an limited refusal of the idea of abandoning it when it becomes costly. The relationships between my heart, my poetry, and my homeland is not three spirits' bones, but a single circle. Between a heart that bleeds, and my poetry as it cries out for deliverance and gathering me into the arms of Eve. And a homeland that never once chose me. And even if it's barriers for me from my beloved, I always were written it. So, in this sense, love is now an emotional condition labeled to collapse, but a faith subject to trial, where it may attempt to devour it, yet every effort to strip it away compels love to grow more conscious of itself and nearer to the meaning of resistance.
Thank you, that's wonderful. At the end of Love and the Barriers of Occupation, you ask whether yearning is a blind bird that circles around a heart that will not heal, and that's a quote. You ask whether yearning is a blind bird that circles around a heart that will not heal. And this makes me think of how desire is often impossible to fulfill as it reaches something that is lost forever, and so often sadly the case with absent loved ones. I know that you're really concerned about how poetry offers a way to reach absent audiences, and I want to ask you about your opinions about that. How important is it to you that poetry grapples with absence, especially in light of how your work is being read by audiences that are far away and in distant countries?
I mentioned this previously in my article, Why Do We Write in Daughter of Death? So, in my writing journey, I come to see absence as the foundation, yes, as an existential condition. I wrote that art, especially poetry, beings only from pain, or from absence, or from the search for refuge and deliverance. This is truly what happened to me. Belonging seemed to hover without arrival, like a blunt bird circling her that does not hail. And in this movement without certainty, I found absence to be my ally and my eternal companion. Thus, in all my writing, absence became the exiles, or the hidden presence beneath the lines. So my silent question has always been, does poetry heal absence, or does it deepen it? Does it fill the void, or does it eliminate it? I will not say that poetry heals or erases. It does not bring the absence back. It only prevents their issue and casts light open hidden wounds so that they may emerge. Absence is not a completely ambition, but a disturbed presence. And even when absence is not in people, it's always here. In political layers, in exile, in diaspora, and everywhere. So I always believe that poetry is not an escape from prison. It's a refusal to let the prison becomes normal. So this is so important. And knowing that distance audience in distant land me makes me feel both responsibility and reassurance. Responsibility because my words will be read in more than one way and through more than one story, and reassurance because my absence here throughout my words may carry another absence across to someone far away. So I see writing across distance as resistance. Poetry allows everyone to speak, even to describe the dead, and sometimes the distance see more clearly. For geographical distance does not mean emotional coldness.
The Wine of Your Dimples is a complicated poem where you're working through the problems of the innocence of childhood and how poetry is often written as an act of free creativity, but how freedom is limited for you by feelings of imprisonment as well as of losing your loved ones. How does poetry for you, Roba, grapple with the loss of innocence as well as the loss of freedom? Does poetry for you achieve a form of escape?
The poem The Wine of Your Dimples is one of the closest poems to my heart, and perhaps one of the most influential upon me. It's filled with rhetorical and metaphorical imagery, as that it does not describe one person alone, but everyone. As for the innocence of a childhood, I do not see it's merely an age of a stage of life, but as a state of safety stolen from many of us, even from those who were far from bombing and war. So in my view, innocence is a political loss before it's as personal one. It's not meant to be tried to a spectac act, nor it's the result of a single mistake, but rather the consequence of harsh aware that strips it from us too early. At times I try to strive by writing of loss, but loss is what surrounds our word. And yet the description of love here comes in a different form, one that feels closer to my own salvation. So when I wrote, I was captured, yet this time not with an prisoner or iron bars, but by eyes the color of the morning, eyes like the delight of a blind man beholding his first sight, like a prisoner finally offered a window of hope after a lifetime of sentences. So here when we liken love in this intimate way to the joy of one who sees for the first time or to liberation of a prisoner, we are redefining love. We would not be able to see the dimension of love had we not been conscious of this cruelty of the world around us. Had we no confinement, we would not understand freedom. Had we not known lost, we would not grasp the meaning of our presence. So here poetry finds its refuge, a refuge worthy of it, through harsh upon us, for it does not escape reality, it redefines it. It preserves the part and violence tried to kill in a poetic way. Poetry is not an escape. It's escape where pain soars freely, a sky into within authority cannot endure.
Yeah, I agree, and it just makes me think so much about what poetry is for, what its impact is. In Bell of the Country, you seem to be criticising Israel quite strongly and with a lot of brilliant and bitter irony. You portray the way that Israel, or power in general, deceives people with beauty like a blue star hiding the darkness within, and with the beauty of the blue of its eyes. I'm fascinated and disturbed by this idea that you're introducing here, and I'd like to hear more from you about how deception and political oppression can be dressed up in beautiful appearances. How does your poetry help to address power and deception?
Okay, there are two sides to this answer. When we speak of ruthless power, colonialism and authority master the art of storytelling. And it's impossible for them to present them as ugly. They wear the mask of modernity, democracy, and civilization. Here, beauty can become a disguise. And sadly, we may reach a point where even knowledge, eyes, and the color of the sky turn into a double-edged symbol. So this is where poetry steps in. Poetry redefines symbols. It exposes the official language. It reveals the contradiction between image and action. It unmasks the governing discourse of power and exposes the instrument of colonialism, discourse as beauty, revealing its featured. If we are fooled by it, we simply offer our soul for the power, allowing oppression to wear any mask it desires. But when we speak of the homeland, it does not think with this selfishness, nor with such depth. For its beauty, it hides its darkness, its solitude, and the cruelty that has taken hold. It's truly beautiful. Through the blue eyes, through the coal in its black eyes, and it's supposed to be a beautiful within, yet it's hurt in darkness, within the blood of children, the cries of a human, the severed limbs of men, and the loss of its lands. All of this is the result of ruthless power, which put on a mask and made the world believe that what it does is just. Thus, there is always the oppressor and oppressed, and humanity bears the curse.
Julia's answer as well, like about returning to these questions again and again. Yeah, poetry does not escape reality; it redefines it, and I totally agree. And I think that was from the earlier question. And these are great questions, and I have all these written down so I can send them to anyone. The transcript of this Q&A session, like after this, I'm not sure if Zoom keeps hold of it. I also want to say as well, Roba, you're doing really well with answering these questions in English. Yeah, and they're such technical questions, and to be able to respond in this foreign language is incredible. The penultimate question concerning the end of Witness and Martyr, poem Witness and Martyr, you're urging your readers, demanding them even, not to become mere witnesses to political problems, because then we might, as you say, have become martyrs. I really like how your poetry often urges your readers to become more active and responsive to political atrocities like the one that you're witnessing now. This links with the question about absence earlier on, but how do you feel that your absence as a distant writer, urging us to act, helps to empower politically active readers like ourselves? How does your absence as a distant writer, urging us to act, help to empower politically active readers like ourselves? Do you feel like you've been inspired by poetry to become more politically active?
The poem Witness and Martyr is one of the harshest poems I have ever written. Martyrdom is a form of complicity. Poets have often said that language is not innocence, but I see the language as both the witness and the martyr, and we are the ones who shaped it, commanded, as if we're a tool. Within the truth is the one that has shaped us. So language is no longer an emotional space. It's military, political distance embedded within a structure of oppression. So writing is both sword and weapon, yet confined to his screen. The witness is a mass of helplessness. Helplessness is not always an act of control, for many times we submit it unconsciously, and not all of us can free ourselves from it. And its severity, we embrace ourselves in our emotions and forget what comes after. In such helpless observation, habituation may take root, and habituation follows political actresses, making us lose awarenesses of them, leaving us deceived. As I have mentioned before, I imagine that in the world of poetry, we divide into the stories of other poets, distance from us, and return them into mere tales between lines. So here my absence or the absence of others take its place, yet despite always following discussing of politicals. Poetry has strengthened my confidence.
I think we lost connection, Roba.
These are amazing answers.
I'll share them all. We have the last question here. Oh, she's back. Oh, great.
Okay, sorry.
That's great. No, I'm pleased you made it back. The last question. So the last part, can you just repeat the last part, Roba, which starts with yet, despite always?
Yes, of course. Just give me a minute. Yet, despite always following this coast of politics, Sorry. Poetry has strengthened my confidence, inspired me to speak politically, and opened my mind to deeper layers, sharpening my ability to discussing between truth and authorization, a legend.
So, and lastly, I thank Will Rowe for this prompt when we had a reading at placeholder. Was that in a poem like Name a Moon After Me, you bring up quite traditional Islamic imagery, eternal themes such as the loneliness of the moon and praying to the sun, as well as spiritual objects such as the soul. Can you say more about religious and spiritual themes in your work and how you use these ancient themes to help to work through very contemporary political issues?
When I approach writing and return to the source of my texts, what is the source? What exists before the source? Here dwell these symbols, older than state occupation, even older than politics and authority. Her religion is not doctrine, is not symbolic or a spiritual language. This one is an eternal witness to every shadow, every light, every blood that reflect upon it, and to eternal truth, witness more than any of us, that soul stitched beyond words, beyond our mind and our politics. Ancient symbols grant the struggles comes. So politics is but a fleeting moment, even if it's stretched over time. Here the poem feels written over countless attempts and despair. And in the end, the answer is in these symbols, too fast to be content even within words. So sometimes when I ponder worldly matters and what lies beyond the sky, I see other deeper fists for beyond politics, or the issue that govern the world today. So can we imagine that even within the hidden injustice of politics, filled by corrupt authority, there exists that hearter, that for the witness. So a one that gaze open as it were their ally, a lens for contemplation. So, and yet is not witness to their tyranny, but witness to the oppressed among them. So, name a moon after me, so it may see what has been hidden from sight.
Thank you so much for your wonderful answers, for your wonderful reading, and for sharing everything with us this evening. But thank you everyone as well for coming too. It's been a really...
Thank you all. Thank you. It's a great honor for me.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really amazing. And the answers they're just so astounding. They're really great. So I just, really loved hearing everything you had to say, really.
Thank you all.
Me too, Roba. It was beautiful. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see you and to hear from you live. It's just amazing. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, dear George. So here my sister, Roba Al-Sharif, she wants to say to you hello. So come.
Hi. I'm the artist of the book cover. How are you?
Hey. Hi, Ragad. Nice to see you. Thank you for the cover. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor, actually. And being here and watching the whole meeting, it was amazing. Being here means that I'm really proud of Roba today, and I'm really proud of your efforts. So thank you.
No, this pleasure's all mine. It's all mine, pleasure. We're all so honoured here to have such an amazing reading, an amazing experience. I think I don't know, speak for everyone, but like I can speak for myself and say that this is like this last hour and 10 minutes has just changed my life in such a big way. Like to have this experience. Thank you so much for everything and for bringing this into existence and bringing this to us here. It's amazing. Thank you so much. We'll find out a way to publish the question and answers as well, so you can look at those, back over those. They are really incredible, I think, too. And I just want to give one final thank you and to Roba and to Ragad as well. And and thanks to everyone here for coming this evening. It's been wonderful. It's been great.
Listening to me. I'm so grateful to you. And thank you.